You're back with Eurosport, you're back with motors, and this is the round 5 and 6 of the Motorcycle News British Superbike Championship at Oulton Park, this beautiful Cheshire circuit. And straight from the start goes James Whittam on his Cadbury's Boost Yamaha ahead of Kawasaki's Steve Hislop and Ducati's Terry Reimer. Well, big problems for Reimer, his third retirement out of 5 races as he quits with an oil leak. When's it going to go right for the Old Spice Ducati rider? Ian Simpson, another retirement. And the fight develops to second place between Michael Rutter on the Ducati, Niall Mackenzie on the Yamaha, and Hislop. Hislop goes down. He's unhurt, but it was a big accident, as you could see, hit the straw bales. Let's see it again from behind the bike on his race cam. And that's created an enormous problem for the marshals. Chris Walker arrives on the scene, he nearly goes off. Well, that is a wonderful balancing act from his Old Spice Ducati. Walker somehow manages to get it all back together and will finish 4th just in front of David Jeffries. Last lap, Mackenzie takes 2nd place away from Rutter. So James Whittam on the Yamaha winning from his teammate now Mackenzie on the 2 Cadbury's Boost Yamahas with Michael Rutter for the Team McCulloch Ducati ahead of Chris Walker's Old Spice Ducati. So Whittam taking his first 96 victory. The race 2, Reimer. Now the bike repaired on pole in front of Whittam, Mackenzie, and also repaired Hislop. Right from the start, Reimer takes the lead from James Whittam, from Steve Hislop, from Michael Rutter, David Jeffries, and Chris Walker. Lap 2 and Whittam takes the lead. So Whittam tucking there. In past Terry Reimer. But down goes Sean Muir on his Kawasaki, the Colchester Motorcycles entry. The bike is on fire. Marshals very efficiently, very promptly get the fire out. And the race continues as Reimer takes back the lead. Tank slapper from James Whittam. Right, really pushing the Old Spice Ducati. Both these races 15 laps on the beautiful Parkland circuit. Massive crowd here to see it. On bank holiday, May Day meeting. Whittam's back again in front, changing all around the circuit as we go on board. Hislop, he's being followed there by Michael Rutter and David Jeffries. Rutter pulling somewhat off the ground as he accelerates there. Rutter 4th behind Steve Hislop's Kawasaki, the Red Bull Racing Kawasaki. Going for that race stringer amongst others. So half distance. Whittam, Reimer, Hislop, Rutter, Walker, Stringer. Championship leader Neil Mackenzie only in 7th place. And still this lead battle, incredible racing here in the Motorcycle News British Superbike Championship. As Whittam is pushed back into 2nd place yet again by Terry Reimer. Problem though, Walker retiring. We just saw going through the fast finish straight on board of Hislop. Mackenzie now 4th behind Hislop. And Whittam further back. Now he goes through into the lead again. The Reimer takes him once more down at Island. So wonderful racing here from Oulton Park. On the last lap now, it's Reimer, it's Whittam, it's Mackenzie, Rutter and Hislop. In the top 5, Ducati, Yamaha, Yamaha, Ducati and Kawasaki. Checker flags out, that's how they finish, no more changes. Reimer takes his third victory ahead of Whittam and Mackenzie, but Mackenzie's still leading the championship, 122 points from James Whittam's 85 and Terry Reimer's 75.
Roger Burnett.
It was James Whittam that put his Yamaha on pole position for the day's 2 races. Already a race winner and lying second in the championship, the determined Yorkshireman was going to be a hard man to beat. However, a poor, uncharacteristic start in race 1 left Whittam with some work to do, but by lap 3 he took the lead from Michael Rutter on his Ducati, where he would stay until the checkered flag. Teammate Mackenzie made an all too familiar bad start, but came through the field, demoting Terry Reimer to 4th place, but could do very little about hard-charging Chris Walker, who took his best result of the season in 2nd. David Jeffries, riding superbly, had a titanic battle with Brett Sampson for 8th position, when on lap 15 on the approach to Russell's, Jeffries tried a rather too ambitious overtaking manoeuvre. With gravel on the racing line making conditions dangerous, the race was called to an early finish and a result declared, to the pleasure of James Whittam, of course, who with a 6-second lead and a new lap record had given yet another brilliant performance. So a confirmation of the result, a win for James Whittam, an excellent 2nd for Chris Walker, 3rd place went to championship leader Mackenzie, 4th Reimer, 5th Michael Rutter, 6th Moody, 7th Matt Llewellyn and 8th Ray Stringer.
Well, what a win that was. This man, James Whittam, must be feeling pretty confident and pleased with life as he threads his way through the grid to pole position in round 8. Front row confirmed then, the 2 Yamahas and the Ducati men all across the front row. Walker will be going for it this time. Row 2, 3 more Ducatis and Steve Hislop's Kawasaki. Row 3 comprises all Kawasaki's. Stringer, Llewellyn, Muir and Brett Sampson. Let's hope David Jeffries doesn't bring him off in this one. David Jeffries on the only Honda in the race. Ward and Andy Hatton on yet another Ducati. Neil Mackenzie on the number 30 Yamaha, his spare bike, because his race bike had carburetor problems literally minutes before the off. Watch the lights then as they go to green, and Mackenzie has been having problems getting off the line, but not this time. And Hislop, Steve Hislop coming through, the number 1 reigning champion Hislop. A dramatically quick start from the 2nd row, and Hislop at the first right-hander hits the front. So he is desperate to make amends for what's been a relatively mediocre season so far. But Steve Hislop, the Scotsman, leads Terry Reimer. Michael Rutter, number 4, is there in 3rd place. Neil Mackenzie had a much better start, and the 2 Yamaha men are 4th and 6th. On the fastest part of the circuit, approaching 180 miles an hour up towards the S's, one of the only 2 left-handed corners on this circuit, and Steve Hislop leads, but Terry Reimer is oh so close. The Ducati rider tucks on the inside and grabs the lead. Hislop then down in 2nd. Terry Reimer hurtling round the right-hander of Coram as they sprint down towards Russell's Bend, and this is a very hard braking. We're looking back now from Terry Reimer coming down towards the chicane, and Hislop there, Roger, very quick on the brakes.
Hislop incredibly quick on the brakes, but look at the acceleration of Terry Reimer's Ducati now as they go up the start and finish straight, and that's the view we've got. And Rutter goes alongside Hislop, but look at Jamie Whittam. He passes the pair of them and he's come from 6th place, so that's quite incredible. And now there's only Terry Reimer ahead of him as they start this 2nd lap, and they approach Sears Corner now. A 2nd gear right-hand bend, one of the slower corners on the circuit, but very important to exit this corner with a good drive because this straight is incredibly long.
Well, that was a particularly good effort by James Whittam. We're riding now looking backwards from Terry Reimer, and Whittam pulls the Yamaha right up behind the Ducati and goes through on the inside. Stuffs it through there. Terry Reimer had no choice but to let the Yamaha rider go. And on the crest of the wave, I think, number 3 Whittam, no doubt about it. His first win in the series at Oulton Park, and the first race win today. There's no looking back for him. Terry Reimer then being pressed now by Michael Rutter, and Rutter the man in form as well in the 1996 season, having lifted the Spring Cup at Mallory Park. He's there in third. Terry Reimer, 3 wins thus far, but he desperately needs to do something about Jamie Whittam. Otherwise, he can see a double Yamaha victory, and that is not what Terry Reimer wants. Jim Moody, number 21, going strongly in fourth. There's Mackenzie up to fifth. Number 8, Chris Walker. Steve Hislop, sadly, but gradually going backwards down the order. And this, the battle for 12th place between the Suzuki number 25 of Ian Cobby and the number 35 rider. That's Nigel Nottingham on his Yamaha. James Whittam away in the lead. This then the battle for fourth. Jim Moody now coming under some pressure from championship leader Neil Mackenzie, number 30. Chris Walker also number 8 on the second Ducati in extremely close attendance. Mackenzie knows full well, doesn't he, Roger? He's going to have to pass Jim Moody soon.
Well, it's 11 years since Neil Mackenzie rode at Snetterton, believe it or not, but he's looking like it was only 11 days ago. He's riding so well. And Jim Moody, he has to get past. Chris Walker's snapping at Mackenzie's heels, but Mackenzie's a wily old fox, and my bet is that he'll take his time, and as we speak, he actually passes Jim Moody there at the chicane, and now Mackenzie's really on his way to catch the bunch in front of him.
A rare wobble of the front wheel of Neil Mackenzie's Yamaha there. The 35-year-old Grand Prix veteran has a wealth of experience. He's using that experience to good effect here. Similarly, Jim Moody as well, a former TT winner, having ridden a variety of machinery, and by contrast, the young pretender Chris Walker, number 8, in only his 3rd season. We've had the benefit of most of James Whittam's racing years here on the home circuits. He's one of the few riders who seems to have devoted his career. Oh, look at Jeffries. Jeffries dicing now with Peter Graves. Peter Graves on the Ducati number 252, and David Jeffries number 9 on the only Honda. And we're with David Jeffries now, Roger. Not as quick as the Ducati, obviously.
Now, this is down the very long straight. You see the 100 and 200 metre boards, and David Jeffries is trying to go up the inside there, but there's no way. It's a very tight left-hand turn into the S's before it goes right. And now up towards the bomb hole as David Jeffries pulls a big wheelie. Well, really, he shouldn't be lacking concentration at this stage in the race. He should be trying to keep the front wheel down.
And having another look then at Peter Graves, we're coming round Coram Curve, and it'll be a sprint down to the interesting situation of Russell's and David Jeffries going all the way down the gearbox. Oh dear! Oh, he's gone again! That's a carbon copy of the first race incident. I cannot believe it. David Jeffries has taken out Peter Graves.
Well, Peter Graves gives David Jeffries the 2 fingers there, meaning twice in the same day, I do believe, but not a very good situation at all, and David Jeffries has to take full blame for that, I'm afraid.
Well, thankfully, neither rider injured. David Jeffries, what a fruitless day it's been for him at Snetterton. The long walk back to the paddock, Roger.
Well, here's the replay, and as you can see, David Jeffries comes into Russell's. Not a chance of getting round the corner. Poor Peter Graves leans into the corner and scoops up David Jeffries, and that's going to be one of those racing accidents that's talked about for a long time, Barry.
Plenty of action all the way down the field, but I hope they get that Ducati off the circuit before this man, Jamie Whittam, comes round at the front of the pack. The rear wheel of his Yamaha sliding under braking. Terry Reimer now under increasing pressure from Michael Rutter, the 23-year-old Michael Rutter, who started his racing career almost straight from school at the age of 60. Chris Walker, number 8, Reimer's teammate, retires with a mechanical problem. So that's bad news again for Walker. Those Ducatis not proving to be the most reliable motorcycle, sadly, but it does seem to be silly problems costing them vital points. 100% concentration from 3-time winner Terry Reimer ahead of Michael Rutter, and Reimer unaware at this point of the mystery gremlin that plagued Chris Walker.
Yeah, I got a bad start. The clutch slipped on the start line. It obviously overheated a little bit, and I got going, and I was just, I was picking them off gradually one by one. And I was with Mackenzie, and we were just reeling in the bunch in front, and it just stopped coming out the chicane down there. I don't honestly know what it was. It just cut out. It's just happened, like every weekend so far, really. But the bike's so good when it's going, you know what I mean? And it's just one of those things. Just have to live with it.
A dejected Chris Walker, but Neil Mackenzie, number 30, on a charge. He's gone 0.2 of a second inside James Whittam's fastest lap, and indeed a new lap record for Neil Mackenzie. And look how close he is to Michael Rutter. So Michael Rutter, the 23-year-old from Brierley Hill in the West Midlands, in third place, but he's going to have to work very hard and pull something special out of the bag to keep the Yamaha man behind him. And if he wants to get on the rostrum, he has to force his yellow McCulloch Ducati past the red Ducati of Terry Reimer, depriving Reimer of a rostrum position.
But it's Mackenzie who's on the charge, and as we look back now from Terry Reimer's bike, you can see Michael Rutter and Mackenzie over to the left of the picture, but Rutter's going to pass Reimer, and that's just over the start and finish line. That's not particularly good news for Terry Reimer, knowing that Michael Rutter's bike is that much faster, and hopefully he can keep Mackenzie behind him now, because he's got all the work to do.
It's not even a question of the size of the riders, because Michael Rutter, albeit shorter than Terry Reimer, is also stocky, so very, very even in terms of stature. But look at the Ducati now of Reimer. He's going to lose out to Mackenzie's Yamaha. Couldn't be closer. The Yamaha goes through on the left, and now Terry Reimer is out of a rostrum position. Neil Mackenzie, no, he's not. Oh dear, that was incredibly close. I thought Mackenzie was there, but Reimer held off later on the brakes, and he's good at that. The 1992 endurance champion, a wealth of experience. He's going to keep Mackenzie behind him. Mackenzie, though, on the Yamaha, having another look. Knee on the white line, couldn't be closer, using all the track and more. Just look at Reimer. Mackenzie going out on the right-hand side, tucks in on the right-hander through the S's, and away he goes in third place. Michael Rutter then, is he going to be able to hold off James Whittam's teammate? Whittam's clear in the lead. Number 4, Michael Rutter in second. Number 30, Neil Mackenzie third, and Terry Reimer, very unhappy, I would think, Roger, with fourth.
Well, he shouldn't be unhappy, because Neil Mackenzie's done all the hard work. He's come from behind. It's him that's set the pace, and it's him that's got the lap record. Such is the quality of Mackenzie, of course, from World Championship success, and it's great to see that he's riding in the domestic championship.
Neil Mackenzie certainly looks a very safe pair of hands to me, and he's now having a look at Michael Rutter. Rutter's Ducati does not quite have the legs for the ex-factory Yamaha. The two Yamahas are very quick. They are factory bikes from last season. Rob McElnay, the team boss, acquired them for the Yamaha team here in the UK. Neil Mackenzie's on one, James Whittam's on one, and the two Ducati men behind them, albeit Michael Rutter with a big engine, a full 1000cc in his, still cannot hang on to the charging Yamaha of Neil Mackenzie. In the backdrop there, you saw James Whittam, race leader, some 3-4 seconds ahead of this bunch, and Michael Rutter is now easing away ever so slightly from fourth place Terry Reimer. Back with the leader though, the back wheel on this Yamaha. James Whittam with his style, hanging right off the bike, knee, shoulder, almost his helmet scraping the tarmac, and the rear wheel just sliding with careless abandon. He is such a stylish rider, just ran a little bit wide there. I have to say, Roger, you don't see Neil Mackenzie make those mistakes.
Well, I don't think it was a mistake from Jamie Whittam. If the bike's not out of shape, he doesn't enjoy it, and he's enjoyed himself. You can see the back wheel hopping and skipping around as he brakes hard into the S's. But what a colourful character Whittam is. You commented earlier about riding styles. If you note Jamie Whittam, he hangs right off the bike. He's almost at the side of it going round some of the corners. That style suits him, and what works for him, who can fault it?
Round Coram for the last time then. Potential race winner, looking more and more like the champion designate, dare I say. James Whittam has just caught up with the tail enders. They won't bother him. The checkered flag is inside. Oh, and a lovely wheelie. He had to put it down though, back again. And this is contrary to what Rob McElnay, the team boss, wants. He's told them no victory wheelies. Well, James Whittam showing that he was the winner. He wanted to demonstrate in his own style, and there he got it. From teammate Mackenzie, Michael Rutter, a brilliant third. Terry Reimer, fourth is better than nothing. The Ducatis of Simpson and Moody, Matt Llewellyn race stringer, but it was Michael Rutter who was voted man of the meeting.
Michael, your first good result of the season, dare I say. Rostrum position, what's it like?
Oh, I'm over the moon. Like, the McCulloch Ducati went absolutely fantastic. Really, you know, I should have just stuck my neck out a bit further, but, you know, Neil Mackenzie just blows my mind. He's so smooth and whatever. Brilliant rider.
A great compliment from Michael Rutter to the two Yamahas, and in particular, the winner, James Whittam, shakes Neil Mackenzie's hand. The gap closing to a 23-point advantage. Reimer and Rutter still in touch. The championship, in fact, wide open with 12 rounds still to go.